Hello and welcome back. This is MC1 Gamer with an update on the Convert This Nagash that I had posted a few days ago. I'm making progress on the build. I haven't obviously started painting yet, so I just wanted to show some of the updates. So if you remember, if you've seen the actual previous video, you'll notice that I've made good on some of the plans that I had, which was to make him more suspended and have the robes encompass most of the bottom, as opposed to the the kind of the thinly weirdly armored legs that I just wasn't too happy with. So I actually got an extra piece of his robe, and I got it from a bits place, and I decided that I was going to put it in the front here. I've cut off the legs or the leg piece that was part of the torso and put it in there, and I've actually threaded it into around the one of the ethereal pieces here, and I've cut a number of pieces in here to make it a little bit easier so that the book kind of holds it and anchors it till I actually finish it up, and then cut a bunch of pieces on this side so that it's nice and jagged, or kind of mirrors a little bit of what you'll see on the regular robe piece on this side. I just want to complete it where it's going to look almost like a little bit of a loincloth. It's drooping a little bit here because I haven't green stuffed it yet and finished it up. I kind of just want to base the underside before I go ahead and do that. And then on this side over here, I'm going to, just to cover one of the seams, I'll have his belt with the spine. And let's see if that focuses there. No, doesn't want to focus. Okay. And there, so that'll cover like one of the seams, which won't be terribly bad. It's going to be a little bit more complete than it is here, just because it's kind of hanging right now. And then on this side, I'll probably have his scabbard, which will probably help with part of that seam, and I'll green stuff the part that joins to his torso. I am using the sword, and I am going to be using the book in this build, and I kind of like the way that looks a little better than the staff. Plus, I want to have the staff kind of hanging probably around this side over here, being suspended just to counterbalance the sword, suspended by maybe some of the other spirit hosts, and I'm already starting to build some of those things up. I do have both of the pads made, and one of them is going to fit on this shoulder, which would normally be this pad. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I'll figure something out. I was thinking about do something with his helmet, his Pope hat with that, but it doesn't really fit well. But what I've done is I made the second one for that, and I've dremeled out the bottom so that it fits much better, and it sits a little bit more recessed on. Let's see if I can do this here while I'm actually filming here. So it actually sits a little bit better, and I can glue it in a little bit better. Normally it wouldn't be that piece that's on that shoulder. And I think that the head is a little bit more proportioned than the little teeny tiny little head that it comes with, and that's what I'm using. So I am probably going to be using the actual Pope hat that comes with the kit, and instead of having, what I was going to do is I was going to have another set of spirit hosts holding up his helmet, maybe somewhere in the back over here, or maybe lower over here. But I decided, that was not only was it a lot of work, but it just didn't work as well. And I had looked at making like a little bit of a crown for this head, but I decided that I can actually convert the Pope hat to be maybe a little bit smaller and proportional to his head, and I would go ahead and put that on here. So I've made a little bit of adjustments. Obviously, with any conversion, you've got to assume that things are going to change as you go, and the best of plans are going to be adjusted as you start working at it. And so I've made a couple adjustments. And one other adjustment that you probably have noticed is I'm actually using the original torso. And one of the reasons why I decided to do that is because these pads weren't fitting very well on the War Sphinx torso with what I liked a little better was he had kind of like a front chest piece that flared out, kind of its own shoulder pieces. But this would just, it was kind of redundant putting this on top of that. It looked nice, but I definitely wanted to keep these awesome bony shoulder pads. So I decided that I would nix that whole idea. Plus this fits really well with the robes. It just fit in really nicely, and it saved me a whole lot of work. Now I can work with this. It really kind of looked very similar to the piece that I was going to use. And it required a little bit more green stuff work to do what I wanted to do initially. So I decided to, just to bag that and go with a little more of the original model. But still, there's going to be plenty different. And one of the things I'm going to be doing, of course, is eventually situating this on top of, once I cut a little bit more of the sides, onto the base, which I think it fits really nicely. Now that I'm actually putting it together and I have it, a little bit more complete, at least the main parts of the model, and I'm probably going to be cutting maybe just a couple of recesses into the stone so that the model will fit where I think that these kind of spirit tendrils will get glued on, and I'll probably wind up painting most of this first, at least doing some major dry brushing, just because it'll be very hard to get in there once I actually do that. I know that the common thing is to perhaps glue it to the base and then paint it from there. But there's a lot of these. This structure here is fairly strong, and I've got so much going on. I mean, twice as much as I would normally, and it's going to be hard to get inside of there with a little bit of painting as it is. So I don't want to add even more to it. But I figure I can glue it afterwards, and I'll just leave those areas clear it up. Maybe I'll pin it a little bit. So this is the progress for my Convert This Nagash. Future projects that I have on deck. I have a whole bunch of Bretonnian archers, and I'm going to be swapping skeletal faces and bone arms with. Those are going to be my my actual skeletal archers for my Undead Legions. I'll be showing some details of that once I finish this, and of course I want to get some paint on this thing, and some Bretonnian looking skeleton warriors as well, and we'll see what kind of other projects I have. I still of course have on deck the actual War Sphinx, which is going to be used the Abyssal Terror base, and the corpse itself. So I have a lot of converting going on. I've got about 30 or 40 of the skeletal archers that I'm going to be mashing up. And of course I still have more zombies that are Bretonnian and zombie mixes, just to fill out the 300 or so that I have with filler bases. That's including a bunch of fillers. So quite a bit of converting. I know there's not as much painting. I apologize for that, but please take that into consideration when you see some of my battle reports and campaign scenarios, that I'm doing a lot of converting. And just about every model in this army is going to be converted, which is now totaling more than 350 figures. So yes, if you haven't heard before, hear it now. I'm a little bit insane. I want every single one of these figures, these minis in my Undead Legions army to be unique, and we'll see how it turns out. So hopefully you'll follow me as I go through this journey. I've been doing it for the better part of a year now, and I'll do some follow-ups, convert this segments, just to go over some of the stuff I've already done. And I hope you continue to tune in, and thank you for those who have done so and have commented. So please feel free to like, comment as you wish with any suggestions or thoughts or opinions. And of course, if you want to keep following me, feel free to subscribe. And have a great day, everybody.